You know that feeling, right? Your paycheck hits your account, and for just a brief moment, you feel that sense of relief. But then, almost as quickly, it just seems to vanish. It gets chipped away by bills and subscriptions and all those random little expenses, until you're left wondering, wait, where did it all go? If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. And the solution, believe it or not, might be simpler than you think. So let me ask you this. What if the key to changing that whole cycle isn't about earning more money? What if it's actually about mastering the first 15 seconds right after you get paid? It sounds small, but that tiny window of time, that could be the difference between staying stuck and building real, lasting financial control. This idea is called the 15-second payday rule, and it's not just a clever name, it's a real biological impulse. The moment that new balance appears on your screen, your brain starts making plans for it. It subconsciously starts allocating that money toward wants. Take out a new gadget, those shoes that have been sitting in your online cart, and it does all this before you've even made a single conscious decision. Now, what's really interesting is how this turns a lot of us into what you could call financial sleepwalkers. We start treating our paycheck less like a tool for building our future and more like a surprise birthday gift. We get excited, we spend it on things that feel good in the moment, and then we spend the next 2 weeks in this kind of fog, just wondering why we never seem to get ahead. But what if you could bypass that impulse altogether? See, the solution isn't about finding more willpower or being more disciplined. It's about building a simple, automated fortress for your money, a system that works for you, even when you're tired, stressed, or just not paying attention. Let's be honest, discipline is a finite resource. It relies on willpower, which fails when you're tired or stressed. Automation, on the other hand, relies on a system. It's a one-time setup, and it works whether you're feeling motivated that day or not. It basically takes your emotions and your fatigue completely out of the equation. And that's the whole game right there. Okay, so here's how the system works. It's incredibly simple. First, your paycheck arrives. Then, and this is a small but important step, you create a one-day buffer. This is just to make sure the funds have fully cleared, no complex reason. Then, the very next day, your automatic transfers trigger. The money moves to your savings and your goals before your brain even gets a chance to start that 15-second spending spree. You've just taken yourself out of the decision-making loop. So the first rule of this whole automated system is what we'll call the 60% necessity ceiling. Now this means you have to get really honest with your spending. Your true necessities, we're talking housing, essential transportation, basic food, should not take up more than 60% of your take-home pay. This isn't about being restrictive, it's about creating financial breathing room. That other 40%, that's where your freedom gets built. Now once you've freed up that 40%, it can't just be a free-for-all. Your money needs a job to do, and it has to follow a very strict, non-negotiable order. This is your hierarchy of allocation. Okay, so here are the priorities. Before you do anything else, number one is to capture your full employer 401k match. It's a guaranteed 100% return on your money. You will not find that deal anywhere else. Next, you build a $1,000 emergency buffer. This is your midnight anxiety fund. It stops small problems, like a flat tire, from turning into major financial disasters. And finally, you attack high-interest debt. Trying to invest while you're carrying a bunch of credit card debt, it's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of rocks. You've got to drop the rocks first. And this quote from Warren Buffett just illustrates the entire philosophy perfectly. Most people spend first and then try to save whatever's left over, which, let's face it, is usually nothing. This system flips that completely on its head. You pay yourself first, your savings, your investments, your debt, and then you are free to spend whatever remains. And here's a really counterintuitive truth. Having a system is way more powerful than having a high salary. I mean, just look at this. The person with a system, even with half the salary, is on track to build significantly more wealth. A person earning $50,000 a year with an automated system is going to build more security than someone earning $100,000 who's just a financial sleepwalker. It's not about how much you make, it's all about how much you systematically keep. This isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. When you put a system like this in place, it creates a really profound psychological shift. You actually move from a constant state of just surviving financially to a feeling of owning your life. There's a real, tangible connection between these savings milestones and your well-being. The first $1,000, that ends the midnight anxiety about small emergencies. Getting to $10,000 in savings has been shown to literally reduce cortisol, which is your body's main stress hormone. And once you hit something like $20,000, you have what's called walking away money. That's the freedom to leave a toxic job or take a calculated risk. And it shifts your brain from a survival mindset to a growth mindset. And ultimately,
That's the real goal here. It's not about buying luxury cars. It's about completely redefining what financial freedom actually means. It's not about being rich. It's about having autonomy.
So, what is real freedom? It's the ability to make choices based on your values, not just what's in your bank account. It's owning your time, which is your single most valuable asset. It's that deep peace of mind that comes from being in control. And it's the quiet power to just say no to jobs, projects, or situations that drain you. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Is your current financial path building a life that you constantly need a vacation to escape from? Or are you building a system that creates a life you never actually want to leave? Because at the end of the day, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a calm, steady process. Real financial security, real freedom. That stuff isn't built in a few days. It's built in decades of consistent, automated, and intentional choices that all start with how you handle those first 15 seconds of every single payday.